Hello and happy midweek greetings from Radically Rational and radicallyrational.com. It is Atonement Wednesday morning for me. I don't know why these things bug me as much as they do, but they do. First, do no harm. I inadvertently called a really wonderful young man by the wrong name yesterday morning and didn't realize it till I got back home. Fortunately, I have a chance to make it up to him today. Stuff like that bugs me. Some other stuff bugs me too, like we're now inside 3 weeks away from the midterm elections, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Ebbs and flows, needle moves one direction, needle moves back the other direction. It appears that Dems in general are putting all of their chips on Rovember, which is probably the best card they have to play right now. And for Republicans, it's all about the economy with a side dish of abortion. Here's the thing. If you look at the polling numbers, and I realize that polling data and polling techniques are a little shaky right now, but more than 50% of Americans say they are concerned about the future of American democracy. But a larger number of voters say, yeah, we're concerned about that, but we're going to vote based on our wallet and based on the economy. Look, I get that too. It's pinching everybody. I would just remind you of this. Our economic future, if that's what you're worried about, and you should be, our economic future is dependent on the preservation of American democracy. You might want to think about that. And it occurs to me that we're in really dire straits as long as we have a climate in which candidates feel free to say, if I win, the election was legitimate. If I lose, it was fixed. I'm telling you, no society can long endure with that premise. All right, so there are reasonable GOPers, for sure. In fact, I applaud them. I mean, in a lot of ways, philosophically, I are one in a lot of ways. I've always thought that Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas, was a pretty reasonable guy. And then this morning, I heard him lamely try to defend Hershel Walker. How can you do that? Are there no limits to your blind tribalism? I consider myself fortunate because I knew Hershel Walker when he was merely eccentric and not stone effing crazy. That is really, really disgusting. All right, sports. First of all, we ain't afraid of no Yankees. Bring it on, bring it on. So I'm told that the NBA regular season started last night. Now here's my feeling about that. The start of the NBA regular season is like the soft opening of a new taco bar in a strip mall. Nobody pays any attention for about 4 months until they get the kinks worked out. In my case, the NBA season, which I adore once we get here, starts the day after Valentine's Day. All right, so this is too good. So apparently, reportedly, Lil Abner and Kraft got after it yesterday at a meeting. They were going at each other, and Lil Abner said, "Don't mess with me." Man, I'd have bought a ticket for that. And what is up with Lil Abner and the Jolly Roger? So the other 31 owners say, yeah, let's start talking with Roger about extending his contract. The one nay vote was from Lil Abner. What's that about? And apparently that's been going on for quite some time, to be continued. This is just an inkling, but I'll bet you a cheeseburger that Taylor Heineke does pretty well as the Commanders quarterback taking over for the injured Carson Wentz. They might even beat the Packers this weekend. Not that beating the Packers right now is all that big a feat for sure. We're going to see how much longer Dan Snyder has a franchise. Do you hear Jim Irsay? He's getting really criticized for speaking out, but I think his basic position is right. You have to take a look at getting that franchise away from Dan Snyder. Okay, look, I'm guilty. Over the years, I have made football kicker jokes. I have made jokes about their toughness. I have made jokes about their conditioning. I've done that, okay? I was wrong. I renounce that. I am now enlightened. I will never do it again. Not after I saw what the Chargers' Dustin Hopkins did Monday night. Guy had an exploded hamstring. He kicked 4 field goals, including the gamer in overtime, even though he felt like he was getting shot in the back of his leg every time he kicked the ball. And it's legit. How legit is it? That dude is now going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. Hombre, I'll never do it again. This is just kind of sad. Unlike BB, who hates Tom Brady, there are a lot of things about Tom Brady I admire, but it's clearly coming unraveled right now. And to a degree, I feel badly about this. Obviously, he's going through a rough patch in his life. And at some point, you have stayed too long. Now, it's remarkable when you can get to 45 before you hit that, but he clearly has now. He looks completely disoriented to me. And you talk about an unfortunate remark. Brady says on his podcast that he considers entering an NFL season like a military deployment. Tom. No, man, no. Most unfortunate. So the Browns in the NFL, they were always wondering if there was more stuff out there on Deshaun. And the answer is yes. And finally, Nebraska AD Trev Alberts says that fired Nebraska coach Scott Frost, all he had to do was keep his job and get an extension and get a raise, was just have the team show some improvement, maybe go 6-6, maybe go to a bowl game. Boy, nothing like lofty goals. And think about it, that Frost didn't even make it out of September. Let's all do the best we can. Good young man, I'm going to go call you by your proper name. We are radically rational.